I still remember sitting in a bar when I realized I wasn't even supposed to be out that night. I had work to finish. A text thread opened with my boss, notes from a client call I was supposed to review, a few ideas I wanted to jot down before they faded. But I told myself I'd just grab one drink, clear my head. Man, this place was packed. Neon lights, bass thumping in the background, two girls laughing at the edge of the table. I had a whiskey in one hand, my phone in their other, and I was trying to read something I wrote earlier. Just a paragraph, a simple idea I wanted to build on, but I couldn't even finish a sentence in my head. I'd read 3 lines, then check who just walked in, glance at the TV above the bar, see if the girl I'd been talking to earlier had replied, pick up my drink, scroll Instagram, put it down, then check who just walked in, again. My thoughts were gone. I wasn't present in the bar, I wasn't present in the message, I wasn't even present in my own head. And that's when I realized, this wasn't about the bar, this was my life, always halfway in, never fully locked on. Man, what the hell happened to me? And the worst part, I used to be sharp. I used to sit with an idea and follow it all the way down. Now I couldn't even hold a thought for 5 seconds, and that's what scared me the most. If you know that feeling, if you've ever sat down to do something meaningful, study, train, build, write, learn, and 5 minutes later, you're watching clips of guys benching 405 or reacting to girl podcasts, this is your video. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to reset your focus, rebuild your brain, and make concentration feel effortless again, like it used to. What I'm about to walk you through didn't come from some book summary or AI life coach. This took trials, years of false starts, deleted apps, full relapses, but the system I rebuilt actually works. And yeah, if you stay till the end, I'll tell you the story about how I nearly flunked out of school because I couldn't think straight anymore. But first, let's kill the biggest myth out there. They say your brain is broken. They call it ADHD now. Nah, your brain is perfectly normal, but hijacked. Your attention isn't as weak as you think. It's stolen. Let me say that again. Your attention isn't weak. It's stolen. By convenience, by dopamine slot machines disguised as apps. You know that feeling when you reach for your phone, open it, and forget why. That's not random, that's decades of psychological engineering. You always go towards what feels easier. And guess what? Every time you take that easy route, you train your brain to expect constant novelty. You kill the part of you that finishes what it starts. I used to sit at my desk, open a blank doc, and stare at it for 30 minutes. I wasn't lazy. I just trained myself to need constant reward. And that blank page didn't give me any. So I jump, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, maybe text someone, then check email, then make coffee. And every time I almost got started, I'd reward myself by avoiding the work. You do this long enough, you start to think you're the problem, but you're not. You've just trained your brain to seek dopamine on demand, and now we're going to train it back. First step, starve the noise. No phone in your bedroom, ever. Delete TikTok and Instagram from your phone for 2 weeks. Cold turkey. Use a dumb alarm clock, not your phone. Put the apps behind the screen time lock with a passcode only your friend knows. You think you'll miss something? You won't. And the moment you feel that itch, the urge to just check something, sit in it. That's your brain detoxing. It's not pain, it's progress. Let me tell you what happened when I did this. First 3 days felt like hell. No escape, no reward, just silence. My hands reached for my pocket 60 times a day, out of habit. But around day 5, something changed. I sat at my desk, no music, no background noise, no second screen, and I wrote a full page, then another, and I swear to you, it felt like coming home. That's when I realized this wasn't about trying harder, it was about removing the stuff that makes trying impossible. You don't need more motivation, you need less friction. There's this moment I remember clearly. I was at a coffee shop, no phone, just my notebook. The guy next to me pulls out his phone, scrolls, switches apps, plays a podcast, texts, then scrolls again, and I'm just sitting there, writing, focused. It felt like a superpower, but it wasn't. It was subtraction. The world isn't built for focus anymore. It's built for consumption, more like distraction. So if you want to be one of the few men who actually gets things done, you need to go against the grain. You need to choose silence on purpose, because you're not distracted because you lack willpower, but because you've been feeding your brain junk food for too long, and it's time to change the diet. Which brings us to the second step. See, your brain was designed for effort to earn reward, but now it gets the reward first, with no effort. That 6-second reel, no sweat, that endless scroll, no consequence. But that's the trap. You keep feeding the reward system without work, and the work starts to feel unbearable. You want to sit down and read a book? Good luck. It's not that books are boring, but your brain forgot how to sit still. So pay close attention, because here's how you retrain it. Make boredom your training partner. But how? You sit down to read, you walk without music, you let your thoughts breathe, you eat a meal without checking anything. It will feel uncomfortable at first, like you're missing something, but give it time. That stillness, it sharpens you. You see more, think deeper, move slower, but with purpose. That's where real focus begins. One of the hardest things I ever did was take a full day and plan nothing. No phone, no music, no YouTube, just a walk, a notebook, water, and silence. I explained this further in my previous video. You can check it out after watching this video. I thought I'd go crazy, but I came out clearer than I'd been in months. I could hear myself again, and boy, you don't realize how rare that is until you actually do it. Like seriously, when was the last time you heard your own thoughts without noise? The third step, start with the gym, because physical focus trains mental focus. You have to lock in, man. Set a timer, no phone, one set, then another, then another. Track your reps, but most importantly, track your rest, because that discipline bleeds into everything else. You walk out of the gym focused, clear, and that transfers. Next, bring that same energy to work. Use the Pomodoro method. 25 minutes, no distractions, 5-minute break. Want to really level up? Do deep work early. Your brain is most clear in the morning. Don't poison it with other people's agendas. Write, plan, create, study. Whatever matters most, do it first, because it sets the tone. The way you start your day is the way your brain learns to operate. Sluggish start, sluggish brain. Deliberate start, sharpened mind. Stack 3 of those, and you just beat 90% of the population. Most people can't focus for more than 6 seconds, but you'll be at 75 minutes and just getting started. And over time, that becomes your identity. You stop being the guy who tries to focus. You become the guy who is focused, because that's who you train to be. I had a friend in college, smart dude, talented, funny, but he could never finish anything. He'd start projects, switch majors, chase ideas, but never follow through. One night, we were working on a paper in the library. I'm locked in. He's jumping between Spotify, Reddit, and YouTube. After 20 minutes, he slams his laptop shut and says, "Damn, I just don't have the brain for this." And I remember thinking, no, you do. You just never taught it to stay still. No one ever told him that focus is a skill you build, not something you have. So if you're watching this and you can't sit still for 5 minutes without reaching for something, you're not weak. You're just overstimulated, and you can fix it, but you can't do it halfway. Delete the apps, turn off the noise, let your brain get bored, sit in it, and push through. Because on the other side of that discomfort is a focus that feels like magic. You don't have to force it anymore. You just are it. You ever notice how your best ideas hit you in the shower, or while driving or walking? That's not a coincidence. That's what happens when your mind finally gets a break from input. No notifications, no screens, just silence. And in that silence, your brain starts stitching things together. Memories, goals, feelings, problems, patterns. That's where insight happens. That's when you start hearing the stuff that actually matters. And that's the real reason you need focus. Not just to get things done, but to know what's worth doing. If you keep drowning your thoughts in noise, you'll never hear your intuition. You'll never know what you really want. You'll just copy other people's goals and chase what looks good online. But that's how guys get stuck. They never sit with themselves long enough to figure out their own answers. So if you've lost focus, maybe you've also lost your signal. Let me tell you about a girl I was dating years ago. She asked me one day, "What do you really want out of life?" And honestly, I had no answer. Not because I didn't care though, but I couldn't think straight. My brain was cluttered with everyone else's voice, everyone else's opinion, and standard. So I sat with that question for weeks, really thinking, what do I really want out of life? I started walking every morning. No phone. 10 minutes became 30. 30 became an hour. And one morning, it clicked. I want to build something I can be proud of. Something real. That one realization rewired my entire routine and brought the birth of this channel. And if you want to support the movement, hit subscribe and like this video so YouTube can push it to others. And yes, it means a lot to me. Because now, focus wasn't just about productivity, it was about purpose. And once your focus has a target, it gets sharper. You ever met a guy who walks in a room and suddenly you feel this strong presence? That's what happens when a man learns to master his focus. He doesn't need attention because he owns his attention. He doesn't beg for validation because he's already locked in on his mission. That kind of energy, women feel it, men respect it, the world moves around it, but you only get it when you cut the noise, when you sit with the boredom and build something stronger through it. But that's not all. You need to focus on who you're becoming. Because all of this, every habit, every detox, every hard reset is about one thing: reclaiming your mind, not just so you can read more or work faster, but so you can live on your terms, so you can stop reacting and start directing. Because the moment you realize your attention is the most valuable thing you own, you stop giving it to people who didn't earn it, and you start feeding it into things that build you. You don't need another productivity hack to stay focused. You need to remember who you are without distraction. You need to give your mind a reason to lock in. You need to rebuild the skill that the world has been trying to take from you since you were 13. Because focus isn't a trend, it's a weapon, and you better learn how to wield it before someone else does it for you. But there's something more dangerous than losing focus, and that's addiction. So if you want to know how I killed my porn addiction in 30 days, watch this video, and I'll see you there.